Boom, I'm in the room. Hello, playmates. Right, now, wash up from my little soiree down to Morocco. I'm going to give you some hints and tips and things that I've learnt on this little trip. Now, let's get straight into it. What you need, what you require, your requirements. So, first off, I would say that you need to be fairly healthy. You need to be fairly fit to undertake a trip like this. I was away for 4 weeks. I did 3,681 miles in that time, all on a motorbike. You need your passport. Your passport's important because that gets checked everywhere. So your passport needs to have at least 6 months on it. If it hasn't, get a new one, because you will run into trouble. You also need your driving licence. You also need some sort of credit card to get money. Now, I use a Revolut card, and it's like a prepayment card. You put money onto it, you exchange it on your card, and then you can draw out the money in the currency that you're going for, whether it's euros, dollars, dinar, Swedish crowns, Danish crowns, whatever. It does all those different currencies, Polish, zloty, the lot. So you can work your card out. A tip: when you're using your card in an ATM, I would always opt for an ATM that's inside a bank, and ask before you stick your card in whether they've got the key to get into it if it swallows your card. Because if it swallows your card and they ain't got access to it, you've got to wait for the machine people to come round to open it to get the key. It's a nightmare. It happened to me. And yeah, it's all in the video on when I got to Fez. I got there on a Friday night, stuck my card in, and it didn't give me it back, and it didn't give me any money. Monday afternoon before I got the card back and money. Bit of a challenging weekend. So, credit card, yeah, you can use it in ATMs and stuff over there, but money is king, basically. So, but on the money side of it, because Morocco is a restricted currency, you can only get, I think it's 200 dinar or 2,000 dinar, which is about just under 200 quid's worth, to take it into the country. You can't take any more into the country, apparently. They didn't check me, but I could have taken in more, and I wish I had that done. Anyway, that's beside the point. You can get money, and just be careful using your card in ATMs. Right. The planning side of it, what you need to take. So, obviously, I needed a motorbike, so I took my Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. I've come down from a 1200 Multistrada, and it's every bit as capable. No problem at all. Didn't miss a beat. I did have to nurse it back the last 500 miles because the chain had stretched so much, and the sprockets was starting to sort of elongate slightly, and it was struggling a little bit. But it had done 11,000 miles on that original chain and sprocket set, and the tyres were original tyres as well. They needed changing when I got back. I did a full service on the bike before I went, so that was no problem, and I did a full service on the bike when I got back. You'll also need your original V5 for the bike. That is very important if you're going into Morocco. You'll need it to be able to get your carnet. You'll also want a green card, insurance. Try and get it before you go with your insurer. It's cheaper. If not, then you'll have to buy insurance when you get into Morocco, which is fairly expensive. It's about 68 quid. A lad that I was running, that I'd met, cost him 68 quid for is insurance for Morocco. And I also had breakdown cover and travel insurance. Just that peace of mind. I didn't break down and I didn't need the travel insurance. And then you need to work out what you're going to pack. Now, spares wise for the bike, I took a tube for the front and the back because I've got tube tyres. Didn't need them. You want chain lube and a couple of tools is all you need. Well, that's all I needed anyway. What else did I pack? I slightly overpacked clothes. I didn't use them all. But because I was going to Rick's Cafe and there's a dress code, I took a tie, shirt, jacket and trousers. So I looked smart. Lots of other people didn't. They got a dress code, but they don't strictly enforce it, which is a shame really, because it slightly detracts from the ambience. But there you go, that's by and by. Anyway, what camera kit did I take? Well, I took the old DJI Action Cam 4 with the mic, little mic. That works great for doing pieces to camera and stuff like that. Then I took one of my ZV-1s and I did a live stream while I was there. And then I got the GoPro 10 Black, which is on the helmet. That's my helmet one. And if you look at my old videos, you see it's pretty good quality. So that's the camera stuff I took. I took the another GoPro. I took the Insta360 X3. Didn't use them. I could have done, but it just makes editing harder work. So coming on to planning the route. Right. So where you want to go, what you want to see, how you're going to get there, and things to consider. So route planning. My route planning, I'm jumping ahead of myself. What am I doing here? Yeah, so I use my route plan app, which is really good bit of kit. I've got the sort of the top paid thing, which is really good because you can use it as your sat nav as well, and all your routes go over onto your phone, so you can adjust your routes while you're going round, etc. Good bit of kit. Once I worked out where I wanted to go, get down to some serious planning. So I planned out the route with places I want to go and visit in mind. So this is the overall route that I used. So I came from Portsmouth down to Santander. Santander, I came down and then into Portugal. Took me 2 days to get down to Portugal. Just over 500 miles down to the first place, or 600 miles to the first place I wanted to go to, which was the lines of Torre Vedras and the defences that Wellington had built. From there, I came across to Elvora and then Elvas. I was going to do Badajoz, but I ran out of time and had to get down to Algeciras to go into Morocco. Now, Morocco, so that's the route that I took down. Came down to Salamanca, came across to Cambrai, and then down to sort of just north of Lisbon, then across, and then down through Seville, down to Algeciras, and then across into Morocco. And I'll talk you through what happens when you go into the borders and stuff like that in a minute. So that's basically my route. When I got into Morocco, I went down to Chefchaouen, which is the blue city, down to Fez, down to Ouarzazate, up to Marrakesh, Casablanca, Rabat, Tangier and back. And then my final leg was back up through Spain and went to Bordeaux, or just outside Bordeaux. I wanted to visit the Rothschild Chateau Lafitte and Chateau Mouton. Both of them were closed, unfortunately. Then I want to get the ferry across the Gironde. Just missed it. Good 3 hours before it came back again. So I ended up coming back round Bordeaux and then back up. Else I could have got the ferry across to Rouen. Cut it out another sort of 60 odd miles. Then up to Saint Nazaire, and I did a piece in Saint Nazaire, and then came back via Saint Malo. Right. So that was that side, the route sorted out, where we're going to stop. There was the next thing. Looking at, in the past trips, I've done it slightly different. I've sort of worked out on the hoof where I'm going to stop. So stop on the day, lunchtime, go on to booking.com, find out where you're going to get to that day, try and book a hotel. This trip I did different. I kind of booked up everything before I went. So that's the list of accommodation that I did. So once I've done all the planning, we've gone through booking.com, Airbnb, and an overlander, and looked at places where I could stop. Booked hotels, pre-booked everything on the way round. I did have to make a couple of adjustments on the way round. When I got to Fez, basically, I ended up having an extra 2 nights there. I had to cancel a couple of hotels further down the trip. Then, obviously, I booked the ferries. So the ferry from Portsmouth to Santander, Algeciras to Transmed back to Algeciras, and then St Malo back to Portsmouth. That was my ferries booked. Book in advance, you can get some good deals. The other planning. So once I'd worked out where I want to go, what to see, then it is doing some detailed planning, making some notes of where I want on the places I was going to visit. So the first real place I wanted to visit was the Lines of Torre Vedras. And so there's all the notes that I'd researched beforehand. And then you can see there's the date I was shipped out was 27th of February. There's the price, £255.50 one way. And then the first distance was 198 miles down to the first hotel, or the first hostel. And that was interesting because I was sharing a room with a 6-man room with 2 other blokes for the night, and that was €16. And these guys were walking. Mad. Next place was a bit further down in Portugal, $31.50 for the night. So you can see you can do it on a cheap. Then, so that's the level of planning, that's the level of research that I did on the places I was going to visit. And then we come to the contingencies. You need to build in a few contingencies. You want to have an emergency contact back in the UK. So mine was the Travel and Strife, the old ball and chain, the Dutch. So the wife was my point of contact. Brief them up on your plan, where you're going, when you're expected to be back, and you keep in touch with them while you're away. If you have an emergency, an accident, something like that, then keep the details in your passport, and you've got your passport on you all times. That's your emergency contacts. Then have a bit of flexibility in your plan. A little bit of if things start going awry or you're delayed somewhere, you've got an idea to rejig your plan. A little bit of flexibility. I had to do that when I got to Fez because I ended up staying an extra 2 nights when I planned on moving on because of the drama with the credit card. So that's your things to consider, the contingencies. And then we come to your border crossings. Now, when you come off the ship at Santander, straight off you're going to passport control and then round customs, Bosch, piece of cake. I don't know, they're on about having to get a visa or something coming up. I don't know when that's going to happen, whether it's happened or not, but it wasn't in place when I did this trip. Then when you get down to Algeciras, and then you're going across into Morocco. So when you get on your ship going across to Morocco, you'll find cards, immigration cards. You need to fill that out with your details on, and on the ship they open up the passport office, so you get your passport checked on the ship. He puts a number in that they log into their computer. That is your number, and that correlates to you when you're travelling around in Morocco. Bang a stamp date in there, so the date you enter Morocco, and you make sure that you get your date stamp on the way out. The same when you're leaving Spain. They should stamp your passport when you leave Spain. When you actually arrive in Morocco, you come off the ship, you've already done your passport control, then next you go to customs. Now this is important. You need to prick your ears back for this one. You're going in with a motorbike or a car, don't matter which. You need your original V5. You need your passport and your driving licence. And the names have to match. The names and addresses have to match on all three. Top tip, get it sorted out before you go. A quick couple of questions, because I don't use my full name. I just abbreviate Tim. I don't use the Imothy bit. So there was a question on that. Anyway, by and by. And then what they do is they give you a card, which is effectively your carnet for your motorbike. And that's got your number on it, your details on it, and the bike details on it. So you're not exporting, or you're getting in tax-free basically with the bike, and you take the bike back out again, so you don't flog it down there. Once you've done that, then at the border they got an insurance office, so you can buy insurance for the bike. Like I said, if you can get a green card before you go, it's cheaper than buying insurance there. The guy that I'd met, he said that it cost him 68 quid for his insurance for his bike. You can also change money there, so you can get some extra money. So you're allowed to take in 2,000 dinar, which is about 200 quid or just under 200 quid. You can change some more at the border. And then SIM cards. It's ideally you want to get a SIM card for your phone, a local SIM card, because if you use your normal card, the charges for me for my phone would have been £7.50 a day to use it in Morocco. So I just bought a data SIM and a data and a full SIM, so data and voice SIM, so I could use my phone at will, unrestricted, while I was in Morocco, which worked fine. So I could ring home every day, using it keeps all your details on your phone. It's just a different number. That's your phone side of it. I always said about using your credit card in ATMs. Make sure that you try and find a bank that's got an ATM in it and they've got the key before you stick your card in. If it does swallow it, it's a drama. So what else do you need to know? Well, the mistake I made, I went to Morocco in Ramadan. There was one particular day I didn't get breakfast because there wasn't any in the hotel or the place I was staying in. I didn't manage to get an evening meal, and I did get breakfast the following day, and then I didn't get to eat until the following evening. 36 hours going hungry isn't much fun, trust me. It's no fun whatsoever going hungry. By and large, toilets. Didn't have a problem with toilets. Everywhere I went, they got high types. You stop on the services or on the roads, they're the older spread axle jobs, all in the wash name. Generally, there's toilet paper everywhere, not a problem with that. Most people drink bottled water. Try not to drink it out the tap. It's generally okay, but you might get the odd deli belly. Didn't suffer that at all. Food, when you could get it, it's generally okay. Parking, if you secure parking for motorbikes, you can generally find it not far from where you're stopping or in your places you're stopping. Never a drama finding safe places to keep your bike. Other than that, yeah, fuel, no problem finding fuel at all. So all in all, it was a really good trip. The roads in Morocco are, by and large, the national roads, the N roads are pretty good. If you get off on the P and R roads, they can be a tad ropey. If you want to do off-roading, go on the P roads. Yeah, they are. They can be a challenge. They had a lot of rain, a lot of wind while I was down there, and some of the roads were getting washed out with mud, riding through liquid mud. If you go back and have a look through the videos, you'll see some of the dramas that I had. It's the state of the bike, state of me. Yeah. By and large, the big roads are pretty good. So the National 9 going down over the no interruptions happens. Yeah, so the national roads, the National 9 is a brilliant road going from sort of Marrakesh down to Ouarzazate. I've done a really good video on that. You can see that how twisty and winding that is, hairpins a lot. It's pretty good road to ride, and the road surface is pretty good 99% of the way. There are a little few bits of ropey bits where they've had some rock falls and they've had to replace bits of the road, but yeah, really good road. Getting down into the desert, down into the Sahara, round Ouarzazate and further south and east there, obviously the roads, the main roads are good. You can get off into the sand and all the rest of it. I didn't. I stayed on tarmac where I could. So there you go. That's the trip in a nutshell. Hopefully you've found that information fairly useful if you're going to go and do a trip like this yourself. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. People in Morocco are really nice, friendly, always there to help and all the rest of it. It's cheaper than most of Europe, but some things can be a little bit pricey. Other than that, go and have a go yourself. Go and enjoy yourself. It's great to travel. It's great to chat to people. And if you are going down that way, go and stop in these places where that's on the Camino Santiago. I stopped in one on the way back. There was 8 other people that were walking the Camino, and I was on a table with them. This particular one, the guy that owns it, he sets up a full table, and everybody sits at the same table. There's a kind of set menu, so you get 2 choices of soup, a fish or a chicken, and then a choice of desserts as well. So all for €14. Not bad. And you get to mix and chat with people. He forces people together, which is brilliant. So have a look at those. Yeah, hotels. Yeah, try and find somewhere that does breakfast. get a decent feed before you leave. And that's in Europe as well. So go and enjoy. If you want to smash the like button, obviously give us a thumbs up. Stick comments in. If you've got any questions, stick them in the what's name and I'll get back to you. I do read all the comments that I get, and I do get back to them. So if you've got a question, do it. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, do that. It's free, obviously. And yeah, apparently if you've clicked the bell icon, it lets you know when I drop a video. So until another time, until the next one, stay low, move fast, and watch where you put your feet. TTFN. Ta-da for now.